Yes. Anyway, there's another commentary. If you look at the last commentary, it would make sense what we're watching this time. Also,
Seems
also everyone who's is listening to this right now actively clicked on Star Wars Episode 8: The Last Jedi commentary. So we don't need to play like guess what we're watching today.
plus, I mean, titles, whatever. Let's talk about the movie I'm watching.
Yeah, just again because Disney likes to change things. This is the Blu-ray that we were watching. This is the first release Blu-ray, like the first run. So just in case they change anything down the road, I don't think they've made any changes like on Disney Plus or anything. So I have the remote this time, so I will hit play in 3, 2, 1. 1 second, 2, 3. There's Lucasfilm.
5.
Something about these movies that's really like, oh, that's missing is the 20th Century Fox intro.
Yep, that's right. It is missing. It's not. I guess because it is so much a part of the previous movies, it is kind of like, huh. You don't have the initial build up to this, where you get that, and then a long time ago, and then the little pause, fade to black thing. You
don't hear that like the ending of it with the
let's
Lucasfilm.
talk about the title, The Last Jedi. What even
Is that?
Well, I mean, I think it's fair to try to like, is it Luke? Is it Rey? Is it
the kid with the broom?
Yeah. Is it Finn? Maybe.
Is it Leia?
What's
No. Oh, I forgot about. Oh.
Wait, hold on. What? The way that the trailer posed everything in this movie, it was like
it's Luke.
Yeah, and it's time for the Jedi to end. So the Last Jedi. But then by the end of it, you're like, he's like, I will not be the Last Jedi, and you're like, so it's Rey. But if Rey has any intention of doing anything beyond being just Rey, like, i.e., starting another school or something, or being a master, which would entail having students. You know what I mean? It's like it seemed almost kind of clickbaity.
It's
like, ooh, this one's gonna be different. I don't know.
I think this one is the most different of all of the sequels.
Yeah, I would say so.
I can commend this one for taking the largest swing,
which
is respectable.
Yeah, it definitely took. I think it took the biggest swing. And honestly, when I left the theater, I remember actually really liking it. I don't know if you had that same experience. It seemed like it because I remember we watched it the night it came out in December, whatever, 2017. We went to that McDonald's afterwards, right down the road from the theater, and I remember us talking about it. And I think even then we had some things. It was like, yeah, that was that whole Leia space thing was a little weird, but overall it seemed like
I like the little Roomba back there.
Oh yeah, he's doing some vacuuming. But overall, though, it seemed like we both kind of liked it. And when we got back to your house, I remember your mom going, "So how was the movie?" And I was like, "It was great." I'm like, I don't feel that way now.
I gave this a real rewatch about a year and a half ago, and it was like, oh gosh,
yeah. It feels. I don't know if you've ever watched some people talk about The Phantom Menace when it first came out. Like, it almost kind of feels like that, where I know a lot of people that were like really big fans of Star Wars when they first saw Episode 1. Initially, it was like, oh my gosh, Star Wars is back. This is awesome. This is great. That lightsaber scene with Darth Maul. And then when they actually like took time to think about it, it was like, wait a second. I feel like this movie was that movie for this trilogy, maybe, where it was like initially like the first viewing, knowing nothing about it, you're like, wow, there's some stuff in here that was really redeeming despite whatever flaw I think of in this moment. But then, you give it some time. And, yeah. Hux, who has gives him plays with his name, Poe does. Hux.
Yeah. This is top 5 worst scenes in all Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, the whole... not only the joke here in a second, but also the like poor cell phone connection like gag thing, like on hold and stuff, and like he's speaking to some corporate thing. Yeah, just it doesn't feel like it belongs. At least not. It's not how I see it.
Yeah, I even in the theater, I was like, that's not funny.
Yeah,
that
this was one I think at the beginning, first thing I was like, yeah, I didn't like that. I had a lot of moments like that in this movie, where, like just first time around, or first time around. I don't know why I cut that off. It was like, I don't know, but it's hard. Also, the way they set the time up for this, like the way Ryan did, it doesn't feel like this was like, yep, yesterday was Star Killer Base. Like, I mean, that I
yeah.
don't even know if it is yesterday. I think it was.
Yeah, this kind of feels like weeks, if not months.
Yeah, I mean, the whole Ray thing for sure. We talked about it is immediately
Immediately
after,
after. So that means this is
and you have to think
like
how long
Poe.
was.
Poe might not have even slept.
Yeah, I said in the last one, like he may not even have showered yet.
Yeah.
Um, my thing is,
Well, hold on. Can I make a point real quick
yeah,
that I
yeah.
just thought about? If it's been like 30 years and it's the First Order, it's not the Empire. It's like, how come it's like, let's take the exact same designs.
Because like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Let's take the exact same designs of all the ships and everything. Let's all have it be the exact same.
Mhm.
You know, like the rebels, that makes a little more sense. Like, that's all we still have because we're still sort of this ragtag group. So it's like, oh, we're using these ships that are from this. So it makes more sense, like to have an X-wing.
It's kind of like they're using what they can.
Yeah, it's like, but like they're like
They have the First Order is presented as if they have like this budget, like they've got, lots of
government funding and backing.
Yeah,
Like, are they like the central government of
First Order. No, they're supposed to be basically
like a terrorist group?
okay. Let's see if I remember right. So you have in a way, yeah, they're basically the remnants of the Empire, like what was left over eventually evolved into that, the First Order. And then you have like the main government being the New Republic, but the New Republic is fractioned between like I think it's like pacifists kind of, and then the Resistance is run by Leia, and that they're kind of resisting both the First Order and the New Republic's lack of wanting to do something. I think so. It's almost like a triad of like, yeah, the New Republic is the overarching government of the galaxy. I think.
Is
But
that like
then
it's like Holdo, right?
Hodo. I don't know. I guess she's part of the I don't know. She doesn't seem like a resistance fighter.
Yeah.
She seems like she'd be more like no.
I
This
mean,
is-
she doesn't tell any of the resistance people anything. Well, I mean, she doesn't tell Poe anything.
Yeah, which is
The biggest.
one of the main criticisms of this movie is the lack of uh, communication from someone who would be a leader in Holdo.
It's like this manufactured conflict that's like, well, we gotta have Poe do something.
It's almost like a melodramatic thing or like a melodrama of like, baby, just tell me what's wrong. I'm fine. No. And it's like, but sorry, there's a motorcycle. It's very loud. But yeah.
I feel like these guys, they got a lot of really old guys. It's like everyone in the resistance is either like pushing 60. Was that James Corden?
I don't know. I don't know who that is.
Hold on, I gotta look this up.
So everyone you're saying in the resistance is old?
Yeah,
an
like
elderly
that, or they're
geriatric
they're
fella?
like 20.
Hmm. Yeah. In the First Order's a lot of old people too, though. It's a lot of guys that look like well, actually, no, that's not true. They're both very mixed. I don't know. How do you feel about these bomber things?
I mean, the whole issue is like, how's our gravity?
Well, maybe they have like an invisible, you know, propelling thing. Like you can't see it, but it has something that forces it down.
No, that's not James Corden. It
I
did
don't know.
look
Let's
like
refer to the Last Jedi dictionary thing, like
the visual dictionary.
yeah, something. I'm sure there's an explanation, but like you don't understand. It's that heavy, even without gravity. It's so heavy that it falls.
Like
Actually, I don't think that.
even this ship falling right here.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is the battle. I mean, it looks really good. That's one thing about all these movies is like, yeah, I mean, at least it looks really good.
They've sort of still kept the aesthetic of Star Wars and how Star Wars should look.
Yeah.
Also, it's like these guys, they're getting some funding also because look, they all have corresponding matching paint jobs on everything. That's a
Well,
lot of ammunition.
They explain that, Caleb, here in a little while. The I don't even know the guy's name. The that guy. What's his name? The Benicio del Toro.
DJ.
Yeah. They explain, they buy and are supported from, I guess, groups, rich people, entities, whatever, organizations that sell to both. Isn't that what we're supposed to get from all that stuff, right?
I guess I haven't deep dived these movies. I guess that's a nice convenience. That way everyone can just have a lot of ships.
Yeah.
Because it would be really boring if it was like, well, we've got 31 vessels. You could just go and just. There's a necklace we probably won't hear or see anything else about, but it's played off to be some significant thing.
Well, it's supposed to. I mean, they do explain it, but the it hitting, I guess, the way they probably wanted to. What a catch! Well, I don't know why they did that. Like, yeah, let's have a cool. It's falling, and yet, is she just sitting on a little like oven rack thing below space, like having
that makes
space below her? Like, how isn't that? Wouldn't that be very detrimental to her health? Just being exposed to space like that.
Yeah, well, I think it's still all in that area is all still sealed somehow. It's like
through the invisible force shield thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I can understand that because that's obviously been a thing we've seen before. Like even the first Death Star had that. And like they're in the garage when the Falcon goes in and parks.
In the garage, yeah. She's like,
What a waste.
What, Leia's involvement?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, what was I think they said a little later that each movie was supposed to kind of have one character play a big role from the original 3, like Han, Luke, and Leia.
I heard about that.
So it was like Han's movie was Force Awakens, and then
this was supposed to be Luke's, right?
And then Leia's was Rise of Skywalker, but
Carrie Fisher passed away.
Yeah, and then I don't know, dude. The whole what is Luke's movie is kind of like, like given that this was supposed to be like his, well, not like his movie per se, but more like he's just more involved in the other 3, kind of like Han was. It wasn't like, yeah, this is Han Solo's movie in Force Awakens, but
it's the thing that sucks. They never got all 3 of them together.
Oh yeah, like what a missed opportunity. Yeah. Seriously.
It's like, you know what? We're gonna
bring
them all back, but we're gonna kill Han Solo in the first one. We're gonna have Luke not be really in the first one. And then, of course, I mean, the Carrie Fisher passing is its own.
Yeah, you can't hold that against
them. We can't hold that. I'm not going to hold that against them. But the fact that Luke and Han never interacted, I can fully hold against. No one's going to help him. Like, he's out there just.
I think this right here is like another, maybe the first instance of this movie that you can like, okay, yeah, there's some competing visions here of like, oh, Finn has this injury that may or may not be a big deal, and then Ryan's like, yeah, it's not a big deal. It's just, it's fine. It's fine. You know what I mean?
It's like nothing, because that doesn't help my story. Okay, so now we've clearly seen that this is still technically Force Awakens because she hasn't.
She moved forward.
Oh, she
to give it
she
to him.
held it out. No one said anything. Okay, I'm just gonna walk closer, and then
I didn't know what to think when I first saw this part. I was like, wait.
this is
I think they could have done it a little differently than just like goofy, like
oh,
shove it over
1000%.
my
This
my
is
shoulder.
and like they're having it set up to be this thing. And it's so just.
Mm. Yeah.
Oh.
Something. Yeah, that was where I was like, hmm? Yeah. I think if you look at the Force Awakens, the color that it was when we first saw this planet and everything, I think is a little bit darker now. If I remember,
Yeah, like it was darker in Force Awakens.
though this movie has a lot of problems and it's often
Also-
not people's favorite. The documentary of the making of this movie that I think they
the
did,
director and the Jedi.
yeah, it's actually really good. I really liked it.
I liked it too.
Yeah.
It's like that clearly is the wing of an X-wing, even though Rey takes the X-wing later.
What? It could be another one. I never noticed that it was the porks.
No, just let's just make
That was kind of funny. I was like, oh, don't do that. No.
let's just it's just toys to make.
I mean,
The porgs really serve zero purpose.
yeah. There, it's like, oh, I guess Ray's gonna lift the X-wing out of the.
I wonder
What was that? It looked like a kyber
It
crystal.
looked. It did look like a kyber crystal.
So he had the robes on, and
He was just. It's like I don't wear these robes, but it's like then why were you?
I'm not a Jedi anymore, but I just had my Jedi stuff on. Chewie's like, hmm. So, the map to Luke Skywalker, is that, do we know if that is something that Luke just left behind in case someone ever needed him? Or is it like, who got that?
How did Max von Sydow get it at the beginning of
Yeah,
Force Awakens? Beats me.
yeah. The throne room looks pretty cool. It is one of the anything that has this actually is one of the main reasons I think I walked away from this movie from the beginning and was like, yeah, dude, this is,
Even though looking at this now, it's like that looks like a soundstage. Like very. I mean, obviously it's a soundstage, but it just something about this room just looks like. Oh yeah, it's Studio 3 at Pinewood. Just like
a little bit. They're using red screens, this new technology they forgot to put in the
Well, no, those are literally. It's literally just because on
curtains.
on a soundstage, what you can do is they have the back is the all around is just white,
Mm.
and they have like it slopes up. That way, it's not like you don't see shadow. So they just built this platform in this soundstage, and then they got lights underneath it going up the white.
A new Vader.
What a terrible line!
I mean, he's
This-
kind of supposed to be like
This
that.
Liberace sort of leisure robe thing.
Yeah. It's like like custom made.
So where
Like something Biff would wear in Back to the Future 2 or something.
where are they?
I think they're in space.
Why are they on a
But-
ship?
Yeah. I want to say it's the is it the executioner thing?
Is it the one they've been on the whole time? It's like why can't he just?
No, I don't think so. Here's another instance of the change, I guess, that Ryan brought. The significance of that scar is now not. It's just a little,
Well, I mean, I think realistically, that's what would have happened. I mean, he got hit pretty bad, and that's would have been the health precautions taken to heal it. So now it's
Yeah.
just the way it is.
But it is kind of like they sort of set it up weird. Like, what a weird place to put that scar. Like they made it to where it would just be this.
Who are those
huge
guys in
thing.
the purple back there?
I don't know.
Imperial dignitaries.
They look like something from Return of the Jedi, though.
Yeah, that's the Imperial dignitaries that
Oh,
come and
yeah.
meet. You know,
I wonder why. Is it supposed to be, given that these are clones, Snoke, and given that the vessel would be weak? Is that supposed to explain the like all messed up?
the deformity.
Yeah, the
This is
gaunt
also
and the.
stupid. I hate this.
This would have worked better in like if this was the third movie.
Yes,
where he's just
exactly.
like
100.
finally just forgets the
Escaping it.
Vader thing,
Yeah.
saying goodbye,
Yeah, this should have been a.
let the past die stuff. It should have been the third.
Like I said, they don't let things sit in these movies. In Disney, Star Wars in general does not let things doesn't
Mhm.
let things marinate.
He really destroyed that thing.
So much so it's smoking.
Yeah, I never noticed that.
He
It's
hit it so hard it's
it's like Power Rangers getting hit, sparks flying. Come on. He's very
grumpy.
yeah. Do you think Ryan Johnson was supposed to like he was using Luke?
With a laser sword. That's a terrible.
It seemed like he was almost doing commentary on Star Wars. Actually, I don't think it seems that way. He was doing commentary on Star Wars through a lot of the stuff that Luke was saying. Like it was kind of like a saying like a message to the fans. Like, what did you think was going to happen? I was going to go in and just, when you saw Luke Skywalker, he's just going to go in and just take down the whole First Order with a laser sword. Like it was almost like his message in a way to the fans.
Unnecessary CGI.
Where
Giant fish just swimming in the bag going through the water. No,
well,
no
I mean,
need.
that feels like Lucas. That's was he going fishing? Yeah. Creatures are cool, but
Yeah.
creatures are cool to have. But I think the whole teat thing here is what throws me off.
A little.
Even though it's like, okay, yeah, I could see him doing that, but
I mean,
yeah,
it is one of the only options realistically.
of what nutrients?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
It's
so.
like it's literally like a farmer going to a cow and just right.
What would have been worse if he would have been like a real farm boy and I had named it. It's like, hey, Betty, it's time for the milking. Sometimes like,
Is this one of the? Is this him being like? How does that stick stay there? Is that like?
I don't know, dude.
That seems like the least practical possible.
What do you mean, like the way he would get across and then fish?
Yeah.
It's a large fish, very large. That's At least it rains on this planet. It's not just like a beautiful day all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, the beacon thing in her hand that's to connect to Leia. Leia gave her that in
yeah,
7.
It's like a tile, thing that like can track your keys and your wallet and your phone.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
So is this? It's basically just she's just following him. Like I'm gonna stay with you, and he's like, no.
It is, yeah. So far, they've not really said a whole lot. So it is
It's
kind
just
of
been
like,
we need your help. I'm not gonna help.
and then she's just falling around. Like, so what are you doing at least? Hmm.
How convenient how the smoke just
Goes away for the shot?
yeah. That's
Revealing.
No, that's
This is a force tree. It's a force tree. Is that what it is?
yes.
It's pretty cool though.
It's very Dagobah-esque.
Did it just grow like that to invite you inside to do some force stuff, or did they have to carve this thing? Get in there and like
I don't know if
like
it
that
was just
table grew and everything for the books.
whole bookshelf, and I like the
Perfect lighting.
No, well, that table was put in. See how that's stone.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think this was all done by hand. It was like, oh, that's a cool tree, and it's big enough to where we could do that, and then they're able to.
Mm-hmm. Just think, not that long ago here. Well, it wasn't on this. It wasn't on this planet, but uh, he he trained Grogu for a little bit.
Yeah. And then
Wonder if he remembers.
Grogu took the Mithril armor, and
Yeah, he joined
it's
Mando.
like, I don't want to be a Jedi.
Yeah,
I swear, if Disney screws us up and it's like, it's actually the son of Yoda, I'm gonna be pissed.
like Yoda had an affair or something
With Yaddle.
I thought that was supposed to be a relative of his.
I don't. Just because it's the same species doesn't need to be all need to be related. Like every Rhodian doesn't need to be related to Greedo.
Yeah,
You know, just like every human doesn't need to be related to each other. Disney.
yeah, but for some reason I thought that it was supposed to be like a cousin of his. I don't know. Maybe they all have names that begin in Y,
Or G.
except for Grogu.
I mean, we've only seen 3 now.
Is that really it? There's only 3 that we've seen.
Yeah, we don't even know the species name.
I want to say most of the time it's just referred to as the Yoda species because because it is unknown. You need a teacher.
You need a.
You really need a ride, but I can't drive you to where you need to go.
Another generation? Is she another generation? I guess so.
Yeah, she would.
I feel like if he really wanted to die.
Well, yeah, you'd have to think like, okay, so
He's like, I'm going to go to all this trouble to make the most ineffective fishing pole ever. I'm going to climb up through this treacherous terrain and drink this gross milk. I think secretly Luke wants to live.
yeah, it is weird to think that knowing, even given what he
There's
did,
one of those BPA free metal water bottles.
I won't tip over. It literally is. Oh my gosh! And even like had like a little demonstration of it shaking, like it didn't fall over. No, but I mean, even given what Luke had done that was bad or whatever, that sent him off and upset him.
He almost killed his nephew. That's all he really did. And to be fair, he had reasonable beliefs to maybe do it.
I mean, yeah, it is a bit uncharacteristic of the character, but you got to think, even with that thing, you would think then that he wouldn't just want to leave this thing he created in Ben Solo, like this this kind of new enemy or threat. He's like, yeah, I'll just leave my friends and family with this enemy or this force, basically, that I helped create, in a sense. I'm just gonna let Ben Solo just. I'm not gonna try to stop him. Just let him loose, and he may or may not kill my sister. But I mean, he may not really damage things that are going on with her. You know what I mean? Like what? I don't know, dude.
So everyone is aware of Snoke, obviously, because he just said that's Snoke's ship.
Say it again.
Everyone knows who Snoke is. He's not like this secret. Like, this is that is so stupid. They tracked us through light speed. Like, why would that be unfeasible? Really?
Well, I mean, it kind of. For going at the speed of light, it is kind of like how do you get something on that?
I feel like though, if most ships can travel that speed, we would have figured out how to track it.
Mm. But wouldn't they just? I don't know. I don't want to.
And it's like we're going in the slowest chase in all of Star Wars.
Oh, I guess it is because it does last throughout the entire movie. Hang on, yeah. Wow. Yeah. Okay. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, because this lasts a while.
Mm.
Isn't this the longest Star Wars movie? Also,
I think it's 2.5 hours. So I'm pretty sure it is. I think
I think that I think this is the longest one.
because most of them are just pretty much right at the 2 hour, 10, 15-minute mark. This one is 2 hours and 32 minutes. Force Awakens was like 2 hours and 10. Let me see. Yeah, original one was like 2 hours. Empire, again, same thing. Yeah. I think the closest one outside of this is Attack of the Clones at 2:22, 2 hours 22 minutes. I mean, I guess it is kind of cool to see Leia though doing things that you probably would expect her to do a little bit, like just not anything specific other than just she would probably go on to do something like this.
Diplomatic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Mom?
it
Also such a cop out, like, yeah, everyone's force sensitive.
well, I mean, she's a Skywalker.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's because Anakin's midichlorians were.
I thought this was kind of fair to some extent because it's like, yeah, he killed his dad.
Yeah, it's like,
but it's also kind of somewhat hard to believe because if you watch how he killed his dad, he shoved his lightsaber like just straight into his chest, looked him dead in the eye.
well, I mean, that could
and-
screw you up later thinking about like, oh crap.
yeah,
what
that's
did I
true.
do?
Yeah.
So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt here.
I mean, that was he probably last night
Yeah.
thought about it because that was yesterday that he did it. And now he's
Yeah.
like, well, I mean, he could have had a different relationship with his mom.
Yes.
A lot
exactly.
closer.
Well, also because it was like the "you were never here," which she
for
says.
Han, yeah, that is true. You could have a little bit of resentment in that regard.
Yes.
You were never there, Dad. Doesn't know how to play catch.
It does make sense. Was a good decision.
Yeah.
Overall,
Like he could kill his father to like bring him further along the darkness, but his mom is this
here we go.
person that he can't.
Here we go.
I want to say the in the theater. I remember turning over to you and going, "Well, I guess let the Mary Poppins memes begin." Like I think I said something like that, and I mean they did.
Honestly,
This is I think this is the single worst decision I think in this trilogy of putting this in there because it just seems so like, what is this? I don't like a single bit of it. It seems too like this, like, oh my I just I can't get behind it. It looks so ridiculous. What the heck?
No.
Yeah, it's just
No.
let me in. Nope. I don't like a single thing about that.
Nope. They should have. Nope. No. Absolutely. There. Any other way would have been a better way to handle that.
I think
I think that was literally the worst decision they could have. That is the worst way they could have handled that.
Yeah, I think so. Well, see, my thing is like, okay,
she's not even going into one of those huts of like the old school like buildings. Like she's like, I'm just gonna stay.
I was trying to think.
Now this actually is funny, I think, and actually works.
Yeah.
This
like, what are you doing, man?
And it's something Chewbacca would do.
Like, get out of here.
Yeah, this
You're ruining my dinner.
And he would.
I mean,
well, he's already dead.
Yeah,
it's like
I want man. Like, which one was that? Like just
why is it
a friend of theirs? Was that? Did they watch him kill it too? And
did he like season and glaze those? Because like, did you see how shiny that thing was?
Yeah, it was a freshly cooked.
Chewbacca's like a culinary.
But I think one more thing I'll say on the Leia thing. Given how nitpicky and upset Star Wars fans can be, it amazes me that they went, yeah, I think we'll put that in the movie. You know what I mean?
And this right here, this is all that the dice thing right there was obviously, it is in the original trilogy, but just so vaguely
I don't think
there.
it was ever given any significance in the
It
original
was,
trilogy.
and then I think people gave it the meaning like those were the dice Han Solo won the Falcon with, even though,
Like
s-
before these movies, that
yeah,
was kind of like the fan.
even though I think Sabak doesn't have you don't use dice in Sabak.
I don't know.
I thought
It was a
Sabak was
card.
I thought Sabak was only cards. I didn't think there were any dice involved. But anyway, so then we gave him this meaning because then it's like, oh guys, look at this because we're gonna see it again next summer in Solo, a Star Wars story.
It was almost a setup for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a lot of remember this.
Yeah.
That was a cheap move.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's okay because Luke calls it out.
It is. Yeah. It's like kind of. I don't want to. I guess a word that would be kind of fitting is like meta. Like it's a little bit. This movie's trying to stop. This movie's trying to be a little. Oh, I wouldn't even say it's
Tongue in cheek.
I mean, it's definitely trying to be meta. It's supposed to be like
Tomorrow at
it's
dawn.
a commentary on Star Wars in a way, like the fandom, the kinds of movies that they are. So it's not, yeah.
The chase is still going.
Who is this lady?
And it's also like Admiral Akbar died, but we're not going to show it, and we're just going to say it. Like a character that
Well, you did see him get sucked out into space.
I still though it's like just like the chain of command is clear. Oh well, the chain if it's chain of command, then Holdo is resistant. She's not.
Yeah, but she doesn't. Given what she is like, she seems more like someone who would be more, more New Republic.
Yeah, it's
like just kind of giving her character and how she acts. I don't know if she'd be like, yeah, let's. I'm gonna join the Resistance, the sort of fringe side of the New Republic. It's a little Jyn Erso like. We are the spark that.
yeah, the spark of the spark, that spark, this resistance. Yeah, nub.
Also, is it a nitpick to go, why purple hair? Or is that just.
Yeah, definitely a little bit. Not, even though no one else is.
I mean, I'm just kind of curious as to, is it just like it looks cool and different? Or was there like an actual reason?
I think it's. I don't
like
think,
the vice admirals just have to dye their hair purple in the Resistance.
I doubt there's a reason.
Like when Poe gets promoted, it's like, oh dang it says here I gotta dye my hair pink. Like you just have to. So it like signifies the rank, And
it's just because Leia was a little upset with him when she got kicked out. It's like, well, I can't tell you anything.
Sorry. Shit, get out of my face. I like how he's shorter than her too. I had to look up to her.
He's just asking what the plan is.
He's like, all right, well. Do you think Rian Johnson made it out to like us to dislike Holdo, or is it supposed to be like, oh, we're supposed to be like, Poe, come on, man, why didn't you see this? Like, what, how obviously when you make something, you're trying to, you want it to be perceived in a certain way, and you want to do a good job in order for it to be perceived that way. And
the thing that we're supposed to be
like, just tell us what you want, or is it supposed to be like, Poe, come on, just listen to her?
It's such a
I don't know.
It's
which
such
one
an artificial way of building suspense and keeping information from the audience as to not reveal where things are going, but it's done in such a
kind of
Just
circuitous way, like,
it's literally telling, not showing. Just what's the plan? Well, we can't tell you the plan because we want there to be interest in which way the plot is going to go. We don't want to give you all the information right now
yeah,
for storytelling reasons.
I think you hit it.
So that's why we're not going to say anything.
I think you hit it on the head. Rose, a character that got a lot of hate, still does,
No,
and
listen,
was not a successful action figure.
No, no hate towards the actress at all.
No,
Not at all. Top 5 worst characters in Star Wars.
yeah. I mean, I think it's.
I think.
I think that's the fault of Ryan Johnson, because it's not even that. I think she could have been fine in like a different portrayal or a different role within the movie, within this story specifically.
And this is so just going with pairing her with Finn and the romance she's doing is like a little like, I mean, it makes a little sense to be like, oh, you know,
Resistance hero,
and she's young, obviously. She's supposed to be younger.
Yeah,
and she's probably younger than Finn. Just by the looks of things.
Hold on, did she mention him as Finn, the Resistance hero? I feel like, because if so, that is kind of like, wait, how did word spread that quick? Like,
well, I mean, he was like, oh, he was responsible for helping get Starkiller Base destroyed, and he fought Kylo Ren, and then he was also hurt and like knocked out. So it would have been like, oh yeah, there's a resistance. His name is.
Do you remember that Finn guy?
Yeah, I mean, it is, but also like, that was yesterday.
Yeah, it kind of feels like a wait. You're telling me you're Wedge Antilles, that guy from, you know, like you've had some time to
You're the rebel hero Han Solo.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's
like there's almost like a mythos behind him, or like myths behind him. You know, like
you're the. I don't know. It's just easy. It's easy because then we don't have to do character introductions to each other, because like, well, we already know who Finn is, and we know Finn is the hero,
yeah,
and Rose is us. So it's the problem with these movies is, with this one especially, is it's like the audience is getting the perspective of this person. But they do that with every character. And so it's like, well, now we know everything. There's no dramatic irony at all. There's no... Well, no, it's all dramatic irony, because it's literally, we know what's happening and going on, even though the characters don't have that information.
Yeah.
Because we're able to put ourselves in every character, because like, so I don't know. That's why I think it's ultimately weaker, because it's like, well, we don't really feel a connection to anyone because we feel a connection to everyone. And so everyone's just kind of voidless, and it's not like we can't get attached to anyone. Like, we can't get attached to any of these characters because all the information's been being given to us already, just immediately.
Interesting decision on the outfit for Poe. It's a little Han Solo from Empire.
Kappa Millennium Falcon. Poe Dameron.
Why do you think he gave it a little bit of significance into asking why they met, or how they met, rather? Poe, because he's like, how'd you two meet? Like, he kind of turned in passing and asked that.
I don't know. And this is also stupid. It's like, why do we have to have her thrown in here? Again, this is just giving information instead of showing anything, really. Just talking straight to the audience. Just, here is all the information. We're not going to show you anything. You know, like that's the thing in storytelling, show don't tell. There's a lot of telling.
Well, they have some moments, like the Ben Solo conflict. Ben's not like, oh my gosh, I'm so torn right now. we look at the TIE fighter.
Well, of course
I don't know
not.
what to do. Like he's just saying that out loud.
Well,
Just
I know.
straight
That's
face.
another
Wow, I don't know what to do.
the-
It's a mixed bag. It's like they have some decent moments, but yeah, these movies are plagued by a lot of just handing it to you, and sometimes not even in a way that's even that much like detailed. Like the whole somehow Palpatine's back, and you're like, um, so like how? But you're right though. It suffers from a lot of just giving you things and then just going on to like then do whatever it is that the script wants or like the cool scene, you know.
So we can just explain nothing if we don't want to. We don't have to explain anything.
Yeah, it hurts at all. He's like, ow, gosh.
That pinches.
Have any like numbing agent?
This is all. I mean, one thing that is like everyone's like, can we spoil this movie?
Dude, what the heck? Yes.
Okay.
We've talked about all kinds of stuff. Just go ahead.
Yeah, so like in the end when Luke dies from project well no when Luke like force projects himself onto Crate, you know, like this is kind of foreshadowing later, like you can use the force to manifest things somewhere, so it wasn't just like out of the blue, just like, oh, Luke's not even there. But also not saying I am not
Saying it justifies it?
yeah, I'm not justifying it, but I'm just saying
It's not completely out of left field, I
Yes.
guess. Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, it's absolutely not, because it takes a ton away of, like, especially that moment he has with Leia at the end.
Mhm.
That's like he's technically not even there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is yeah. I'm not justifying it, but it is not. It's not as just what.
Yeah.
Because it's being shown right now, and again, it's shown again in Rise of Skywalker.
Mm-hmm. I
You
mean,
know, the sending the lightsaber.
so far we don't know anything about the whole Force dyad thing that these two are. I do like the fact that they kind of have this stuff. I know it's been joked. It's like, oh, it's Force FaceTime or whatever. But I think it is kind of cool. It's like a new
element of the Force.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we would want something like that, like a new kind of like, oh, okay, I've not really seen that, and this is
of the sequel stuff. I don't hate that. I don't hate it.
I like generally I like it. I mean, I know it gets weird with the whole.
Yeah, I think
their connection because of their
I think some of the execution is not there.
Concept, it's cool though.
Yeah, I think, and it makes a little sense. I mean, you're able to, like, when they die, they can become Force ghosts.
One. Oh.
Yeah. Everyone also at this point, it's like, oh, they're cousins.
Yeah.
Remember that at this point.
I mean, they still kind of are, as we talked about. I mean, from a certain point of view. Remember we explained how you're like, sweet home.
Oh,
well, because again, it's like, okay, Ben's grandfather is Anakin. Anakin's father, technically, or from a certain point of view, is Palpatine because he manipulated the midichlorians to create him. So in a sense, he's
is that
the
canon?
Father. I'm pretty sure it is, or it's been.
I've heard
so
that,
heavily.
I've heard that theory before. I didn't know if that was canon or not.
Well, I think from the beginning we had some idea, even in episode 3 in like 2005, that it's like, okay, he doesn't have an actual like biological father, but he was the Senate room or whatever the
Right, to have
room,
an Abraham and Isaac thing here going on.
Yeah,
sitting on the stone,
about to get sacrificed. But then you take that Palpatine was the grandfather of. Wait, hold on. Yeah, that would be. They would be cousins in some way, but. No, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. It's like Palpatine, Anakin, Leia, Ben. So that's 4 generations right there. Palpatine's son, Rey. So.
It's like second cousins.
Yeah.
But like everyone, we all thought right here. It's like.
That was a little bit. I didn't like that.
the tickling her finger with the grass.
I feel it. It's like, nah.
Oh, you almost had it.
Like, I don't know. I was hoping these movies would be a little bit more serious when it got to this kind of stuff than just like a quick little
Goof, like
in a sense that is a Marvel thing to do, like in a serious moment like that, to give a quick joke and then go back to being serious like this. But it just
yeah, that's the one of the biggest criticisms with
seems
with
uncharacteristic.
MCU is
Every serious moment is like a joke and then something serious.
yeah, but I feel like it's always I hate that that Best Buy test screen, high speed, high frame rate, grass growing nature shots right here.
Balance. I mean, is
No, but I'm saying the MCU's always done that.
Yeah.
It's from the beginning. It's been,
as
but Star Wars has not.
as strange and difficult to kind of get behind some of the stuff of this movie, I was okay with maybe them going a different direction when it came to like what a Force user would be. Like if this was the Last Jedi, Luke being the Last Jedi, and Rey would be something akin to like a Knight of Ren, but on the light side. Like I was kind of open to it because you had the from a lot of well, I guess it was introduced in the prequels, the whole idea of balance, and it was like what is balance mean? Like we never really like does it just mean like one light side user and one dark side
Yeah,
user?
it is. I do like the whole looking at it as like it's not just the dark and the light.
Oh, it's like an ambiguous kind of
Yeah, there's it's like who said it? It's this.
yeah, I was kind of thinking she'd be like an Ahsoka Tano, kind of gray Jedi, like ultimately good, like has good intentions, but is not. She's not dogmatic
I feel
on the light
I
side.
definitely put Ray as I put Ray more in the middle than Ahsoka. Ahsoka was just against the establishment of the Jedi, even
She's
though
spiritual, not religious.
yeah. So like I think Ahsoka still ultimately was very involved with like it was very definitely light side, especially like all her
Yeah.
hanging out with Luke and
Hold on. He just said with Ben, it didn't scare him enough.
it
I
doesn't.
guess from the beginning, yeah, it didn't really. He probably had something where it was like, oh,
It's like,
Ben.
oh, he's gonna be good.
Well, I think from the beginning, it seems like maybe because of his past and his lineage, it's like, okay, yeah, this is the grandson of Anakin Skywalker, and he might have hints of dark, but maybe what Luke is saying here is that he was still willing to try to foster the good in him, but with Ray, I guess he's like, no, I don't even want to toy around with you because I know that feeling of both light and dark.
Can be
I don't want to.
bad.
I don't want to even chance giving the dark the light of day. Well, I don't know why I said the light of day given
Yeah.
the dark and stuff. But yeah. Wow, water.
I like seeing the Falcon in the rain. That was kind of cool.
Just getting a little wash.
Oh, look at that! I never noticed that rack carrying 6 AT-ATs in the background.
Mm.
It's pretty.
It's kind of like the Droid Factory a
pretty
little bit.
sick.
Where's
What's up? Yeah.
FaceTime.
Keep in mind what they're actually looking at. Like, I mean, the way it's shot, it looks like they're looking at each other. But like, if someone were to come in, it's like, Kyla, you're yelling at the wall.
But they wouldn't. I guess they wouldn't see it.
And Chewbacca would look at the Millennium Falcon and just watch Rey just yelling towards the ocean, like.
But given their perspective, do they just see the environment that they're currently in?
I think they
but
just.
it's like a cropped out piece of like just Ben Solo right there on the edge of the rock in her view, or is it?
I think they see them as being in. I think Rey sees Kylo in this environment standing in front of her, and vice versa.
So kind of like the hologram thing when it pops up. all you see is just the figure and not like what's behind him and stuff. You know, maybe it's like
Yes.
that. Okay.
Yeah, I do. I think it's that.
Yeah, that would make sense.
But of
Otherwise, I don't know
course,
what
I
they.
think that's how they see it. Of course, I don't think they're. Oh, maybe they are actually there. Who knows? Because I mean, you see, Kylo had the rain on his hand.
Well, I think that was
This is
that was a
stupid.
foreshadow of that.
I forgot. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I mean,
What is
what
this?
is Canto Bite?
Canto Bite. Yes.
A little yacht, and
It's supposed to be like Monte Carlo.
they're going here for a hacker, right? Like
Yes.
a person that has some knowledge.
And also, like all this, just not gonna mention that crashing on the beach and then escaping down this way. Not even gonna. We're just gonna show it for 2 seconds, and then we're just gonna be in here.
I mean, I think this could have been cool if it was maybe shorter. And I don't necessarily mind the fact that it's a casino because it is kind of like, okay, yeah, we've seen the nightclub, we've seen
Sports
like
bar,
a regular cantino, yeah, like
the sports bar
Yeah.
in episode 2.
and so to see this sort of
Like it would. This would. There would be people who are like the elites, and
Yeah.
they would be.
it'd probably be something.
It makes the whole
And-
the whole animal rights subplot.
Oh, well, yeah, that I think that's what made this maybe not work as much is because the kind of commentary that he was giving was almost kind of like a distraction from what they were doing to some extent. I don't know. Like it was trying to progress the script or get further along, but it also was kind of pausing for a second to give you those like first order and yeah, that guy was creepy. The like emo hair thing, and then the
This is all just a little. It's just a little too silly. It's just
Yeah.
a little too silly.
I think that's
Also, they look so out of place. So, ugh. It's gross looking, and it's all. This is mostly that looks like prequel. That's a prequel shot because that's all green screen there to the right.
it is. It kind
Yeah.
of looks like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan
A
in
little.
episode 1. Like I swear there's a similar shot.
And that, yeah, this looks like prequel, like
Mhm.
the bad parts of the prequels.
So there's one. Rose said that the First Order stripped our core to finance. So I guess in a sense it's kind of
This is like a personal vendetta.
yeah, which I think it's fine, but maybe it's kind of like a I don't know. Maybe it is kind of reaching, or not. Not that it's like you can't comment on those things, but maybe it is kind of like they've got a little bit too much time, like given like what this is, like this kind
Yeah.
of secretive, like clandestine mission. But let's pause and have some commentary on society real quick. You know, I was like, I don't know. I don't know if it that seems a little gimmicky or like
Yeah.
cartoony, almost like the moi, like
It's like he's the Master Cobra because he's got this badge on. This.
that also, yeah, the fact that I'm not even taking like what he looks like, but yeah, like that thing there, like, oh yeah, that means he's. How do you feel about the police officer guys and their helmets?
Indifferent.
Yeah,
It's not good or bad. It's fine. It's I like how this is practice.
yeah.
It's like
I do think, given that, well, at the end of Rise of Skywalker, she has a.
she's just standing on the edge of a cliff, just swinging a stick around.
It's like me in the backyard when I was a kid with my plastic lightsaber. No, but I think it is cool that she was practicing with the staff because it was kind of like a
It's familiar.
well, I mean, it could have been a foreshadow for like, okay, yeah, she's gonna have a double blade at some point. It was kind of like it could have set that up, and that would have been kind of cool. Of like, oh yeah, she is training with it, and then she eventually gets one. But I guess she technically doesn't have it. It just kind of has. Like I don't know if you remember at the end of the Rise of Skywalker, she has a blade that's yellow, obviously, but it kind of looks like she made it out of
The
that staff a little bit. and it looks like it could be double bladed, but doesn't seem to actually say.
Oh my gosh.
What a stroke!
Yeah, I think any lightsaber would have gone through that, regardless of how.
It's like you have. I actually kind of laughed in the theater in that part. I'm not gonna lie. I just wasn't expecting it. I thought it was goofy afterwards. Like, that's stupid, but it is kind of funny. Here they are, just working so hard. She just knocks it right off. Romanticized, deified. Yeah, I mean, but like, are they though? I mean, I guess they are, but at the same time, we've got enough people that romanticize and sort of mythify them, but they've also, a lot of people don't even believe in them. They don't even seem to know the history of them at all.
You know, she just did she just call Darth Vader the most hated man in history?
He's the most hated man in Star Wars. I mean, history.
It's like we know Darth Vader, but we don't know Han Solo or Luke. It's like they're legends, but he's not.
Yeah, so in a way, it's almost, I don't know, dude. But it is a big place, so you would have people that would romanticize them, and then you'd have a.
I'm just saying it hasn't been that long.
Yeah, it hasn't.
And the Empire was huge, and the Empire was like the government, right?
And then knowing anything about like the history, 50 years, 60 years, however long ago the prequels were at this point.
There could
the
realistically
Republic was a huge institution that you would have known about, and the Jedi were very much hand in hand with them, and so it is kind of.
I mean, it's literally like one generation. There could be someone who was alive during
prequels.
Yeah.
I think there are. Palpatine.
Shut up.
Well, given I mean, well, Luke and Leia were born, and Han were born there. I mean,
Han is older than both of them because Han Solo is supposed to be like 10 years old during episode 3.
I really was looking forward to seeing not like
good.
everything from the EU. What?
Something good.
Well, okay, yeah, but I mean something kind of similar to the EU, in that you would kind of see just more than one Jedi. Like, I didn't want to just have this rehash of where the original trilogy was, like the state of the galaxy, where the Jedi are no more. There's just one, and like this master, and it's like, I kind of wanted to see something kind of like the prequels, and that there were a lot of them. There were more than one. It wasn't just like this one that's trying to get it back, because that's kind of what Luke's role was. He was trying to revive it, and it's like, well, we're trying it all over again. It's kind of
we're just doing Luke on Dagobah now.
Yeah, and it's just like, man, I was hoping to have something a little different. I guess.
Chase is still going. That's right. Yeah. How long has it been? It's been a couple days now, hasn't it? Because based on Rey being there and slept at least twice.
Yeah, it has.
It's been a few days now.
But time passes differently
for them.
Probably. I mean, I don't see why not. I think that's one reason they explain, and I want to say that's an explanation in Dagobah. Like, Dagobah's time passes much differently than. There's like a fan theory that Luke trained a lot longer in Dagobah, even though the Han and Leia stuff was only a couple days, because Dagobah's time passed a lot slower or something, given Han and Leia's perception or something.
Because they're in space.
Yeah. That is one thing you don't really have a lot of things touched on, is like the time zones and different planets.
Is everyone on just like a 24-hour like?
Yeah. There's no like interstellar thing where it's like, dude, you can't go to that one planet over there. You'll
be there for 7 years.
Yeah.
But it'll feel like
5 minutes.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool if they had like a side thing where there was a person from the prequels, and I don't know. Like, I just wanted a vacation for.
I hate this vague, just the code breaker.
Yeah. The hacker. Basically, that's what it is. They just need a hacker. And he just so happens to be
in the cell.
with it's like the hobo on the train on the Polar Express. They just he's literally wearing the socks. I was thinking that when it was first like released that he would be in this movie, Benicio del Toro, I was thinking his role would be something like with the First Order or something. You know, like he'd
Well,
be.
it kind of is.
Well, yeah. I didn't realize he'd be like this kind of.
What is with the stutter thing? Like
And
that's
a lot of people point out that it's very inconsistent. Like he'll go completely fine for a while. What exactly is that? Getting the porg meat out of his teeth? Is that what
yeah. I don't.
they serve pork? I mean porg meat here in the Canto Bite. That was easy. Didn't really take him much. Hmm. I never noticed that guy in the tux.
I've never noticed him either.
Did you did you do this? Stupid.
Why does he have boots?
Like put them on, dude. You know what I mean?
You're telling me
He's wearing his sock.
BB-8 has just a thing that can
The whole-
disperse
And
the
like blowing it.
yeah. It's like we showed that little guy pushing all those coins into BB-8, so he just has a slot designed for shooting out discs of exactly that size.
It was perfectly designed too. Yeah. They wouldn't want to cover their evidence. They were just gonna have this giant. We're just gonna have the plate to the side. Whoa! He almost landed in some dookie. Did you see that? That was a huge.
Oh.
That's right there. What are these creatures?
Father.
Father? Father?
Fate.
Is it Faither?
Fathier. Father.
You know, of course they're like cute and cuddly and you know. He's like, what are you guys doing?
What are you? What is that? Oh gosh, I forgot about that thing.
Wow. I mean, would they know about that stuff? Like, you'd think if they're in this condition, wouldn't they be like, okay, like what is that symbol? I don't know. I don't have the internet. I don't have any. I mean, if they grew up here, like, why would they like in this kind of like impoverished and
very
this situation where you'd think almost
they look very much like Dickens characters.
oh yeah, like Oliver Twist something like yeah. But you'd almost think like they like be given their condition, like why would they ever like who would have told them about the resistance of the rebellion?
So we know that we have these rings also. We're in the club.
Well, a secret society. But that was an interesting way to reveal it. Like, huh? Like
secret ring.
It only reveals it when
Go
I twist
through
the thing.
on a CGI mess and yuck.
Yeah, I mean that right there, I was like, oof.
Very that like ooh.
I mean, I'd be fine with the whole gimmicky, or like the whole they use the animals to get away. Like I wouldn't necessarily be.
But
as,
then they're running through the casino. All
all
silly
these-
like
yeah, like oh yeah. I think that's what kind of.
no, yeah. It's just.
I mean, like this kind of thing right here, like it could have worked. I mean,
it's
yeah,
just silly.
yeah, it does seem silly. It seems very Disney. To freedom, and you know, I don't know.
We saved
And they're both riding the same one.
We saved the animals. How strong are these guys? Good
Maybe.
lord! Like I mean,
They look like horses, a little bit of cat, and a little bit of dog in them.
I'm just saying, like they're doing some damage and take some falls.
No cuts from the glass. Wow. Hmm.
It's like, well, we didn't ever really see them park.
Well, I
It's
mean,
like, really, they're just gonna leave the ship there? And do you think the ship
wait,
would?
they just shoot it and blow it up?
What?
Did the
Yeah, they shot it.
Wouldn't you think they'd shoot the animals though? Like, I guess no, because they're prized. They're like money makers.
Racehorses.
Yeah, they make them too much money probably because people bet on them, and
Going through the
it's a
tobacco
whole like
field now.
yeah. In there, there's a kind of it's called tobacco. Isn't there kind of like a or is it spice or like a I don't know. I thought there was some kind of tobacco.
Cliff!
Yeah, but it's no.
How convenient.
Yeah, so far not a lot of heavy breathing as in the last
And
one.
this makes sense here. Like that's justified. That's
If it was, I mean, he's not really doing it as much. But the Force Awakens, it was like Finn is just always out of breath. Fathier. You're free now.
Well, but the saddle's on the other one.
Immediately just runs off the cliff because it doesn't know what it's doing.
Now it's worth it. Oh.
He's like, I mean, I don't know. It seemed to like I would have nothing against some people fraying some fathiers or whatever fathiers. But yeah, it does kind of seem to.
You're telling me that's the most practical way to get on that ship is to have a spiral staircase come down from the middle like that?
I mean, given like when it's landed on the ground, how does that make sense? Because it seemed like it extends very far. So
Yeah,
like
I
what the
know. And
landing
that ship
pad.
doesn't seem very tall.
Wait, what's Luke doing here?
It's just
He's about to read the how to get into the Misty Mountains or whatever.
yeah.
The Hobbit, you know how they have the moon thing. Oh, he's connecting to the Force. That's right.
Because he has to go to this magic rock to do it. He
Yeah,
can't
but like,
just...
what is that like? It's kind of cool, but and also it's like the whole it looks like the Taoism symbol a little bit. Like it had the at least it looked like it. I mean, you would almost think like given all the time that had passed between um Ben's fall and now, like how many times do you think he would have reached out to
Oh, there's
Leia?
that's a meme picture how wide he looks in this. Remember all that?
Yeah, and then she makes a comment. Do you have a towel? Mm. He's a tortured guy.
Reading.
What?
I'm reading
What are you reading?
the subtitles.
Oh. That scar goes down all the way to his like chest.
His
Like,
nipple.
his nipple. Yeah.
I mean, that was a...
Well, at least they're not just like
I feel
they're
like,
doing a mix of Talon show right here. The best of both worlds.
I feel like Luke should have... If Luke really
He's like,
wanted...
I'm gonna kill you. Like crazy uncle.
Luke should have been a lot faster.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I mean,
I'm going to have this pause just like this dramatic, just...
and just
like you're
Yeah.
giving him way too much of a chance. You know he's force sensitive.
yeah. Kill it if you have to. I mean, sometimes, yeah, I guess.
It's like the whole like let the past die is like, don't hold on to old Star Wars. This is the new Star Wars.
Yeah. I don't even know what. Yeah, I don't even know what. I mean, I get like as a life model, sometimes that might be good. Like just to like let it go. And,
Don't hold on to...
but I don't know what. I mean, it makes sense within his character. Like, yeah, I think at some point this character Ben Solo, would be like, yeah, I'm gonna move on. Like his progression, he was like
Let me go down.
infatuated with the
Let me just
past.
go down to the convenient magic force hole.
He's like, ew, it stinks down there.
Ah! How did she fall? She had so.
Oh my gosh! Like,
I feel like I don't think that would have been like a.
yeah,
Like
a little Ben Kenobi or Obi-Wan Kenobi kind of feel like in 3. Wow, who makes this stuff? Does the Force just put all this together, and
I think it's a vision. I think there's. I don't think she sees any. I don't think it's any of it's actually there.
I remember the fan theories around the time of this was like, oh, that means she's a clone. That means she's a clone, right? It's trying to tell her that she's a clone, like Star Killer. You know the
Yeah.
video game character. Which I guess in a sense,
You guys liked Ray? Well, get ready for 1,000 of them.
a bitch. I guess in a sense, it's almost kind of like if the clone thing.
This chair is so
It's-
comfortable.
Sorry,
It's okay.
it's still kind of true in a sense because it's like, oh well, what was her father? A clone, and probably just one of just one of many. You know what I mean? So in a sense, it's like, yeah, she's not actually a clone, but is she the product of cloning?
So which one is the real Ray? She's back further, isn't she? Oh no, she's up here in the front.
What?
It's just the CGI mess. Also,
And given what Ryan probably said her lineage was, nobody. Why do you think, is this just his way of saying, look, it's just you? You know what I mean? Like, it's just you. You just got yourself. But we're going to just really hone that in with that many of you. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, what is he trying to say
I
with
don't know. I
there
think
being a million rays?
I liked the whole just idea of like, yeah, you're nothing. Like you're not connected to all this. I like that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, it's Palpatine's
Yeah.
granddaughter.
I mean,
It's
okay,
like,
I was cool with it too. But I was kind of, it was strange to swallow, I guess, because of the setup in 7. 7's like, oh, yep, big secret, who her parents are or whatever, or her identity. More FaceTime. It's at night.
you up?
Kind of sad. Kind of sad. You awake?
No, I could. Who are you talking to?
And he's like the dad. Oh, I guess he can sense what they're doing. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because before, I guess he
Like I
had
said,
just
I
turned
feel like-
himself off.
For all three of them being very force sensitive, there's a lot of like, I didn't know about this. It's like, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like what is blank or how did you blank? Like,
Well, they're taking to the next level.
cause in my head I'm in your bed and getting through to you.
The Bo Burnham song.
They made the force for a night like these.
Yeah. It's a soft,
It's a soft, gentle touch.
And I guess they both see something in each other. Well, it was with the lights, everything. She's like, just immediately freaks out. I don't. Okay.
She just has just oh.
Okay. I think. Wait, did he see them? He saw Ben standing there, right? Is that why he's like, hey?
Yeah, I think so. Leave this island now. It's so hard. It's so hard to like him.
It is.
It's so difficult.
And it makes liking this movie hard.
Yeah, because it's like you've taken this character that we've.
Yeah, it's like he's this resilient.
And just like, yeah, I got upset. I tried to kill my nephew, and now I'm all angry and don't want to help. And I'm just this begrudging old man who's not acting like how Luke would act. Like,
Yeah, before it was like unshakable character. It was like no matter what happened, no matter what was said to him, he always had some kind of like, hope, or he was
he's just
a Jedi, like his father was before him.
he's
Like
just
always,
completely given up.
yeah, like he was always grounded in the ideal, or like the better version of him, or he, maybe he wasn't at like the ideal version all the time, but like he always had that as like a guiding force. Like he's kind of, I mean, you probably won't understand this, but he's kind of like Alyosha in the Brothers Karamazov in the sense that it's just like no matter what, he still has that same like faith or hope or whatever.
And even as him like kind of explain, it's like that still doesn't really.
But the
I mean, the only thing that makes it better is like he was conflicted,
Yeah.
and then like he had ultimately decided to not. It wasn't just a straight up like, like
I'm gonna kill you.
yeah. It's like there's a lot more like, there's a lot more,
Unsureness about it.
yeah,
and,
and,
like,
and, like,
reservation,
and he had pulled back like, no, I'm better than this. Like,
yeah.
and which definitely helps, but still, it's all of this like the leave this island, like,
Yeah. It's like Clint Eastwood and
get off my lawn.
Gran Torino.
Yeah.
Just now when we touched hands, I knew I loved him. Like, wait,
Hold what?
touched hands. She said touched hands.
I know.
Whatever. Ray. He's a bad boy. It's like, Ray, you need a good Christian boy. You don't need to mess around with him. As your father, I mean, as your person you've just met.
As your third cousin, I'll need you to know.
I mean, I guess so. Yeah, that would if Ben and Ray are related, then yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. He's like, huh.
Crap! I changed my mind.
Yeah. It is kind of interesting that what changes.
Does he really? It feels like it's bright enough out there where he doesn't need a torch.
Well, I think he's about to go inside, and I doubt.
Remember this? Remember the
torches.
reaction in the theater with that?
Yeah, people went crazy. This movie did have a lot of, fan reactions that were loud. Like, I mean, this one, yeah, I mean,
and this makes sense and this works and it is fan service, but
yeah,
I think it's justified.
Yeah, I think it's cool, but it's
Well,
almost like Yoda's kind of on board with. I don't
burning
know.
it down.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I mean, it's Yoda being. It's like they have the same conclusion, but Yoda is much more wiser in his.
Yeah, which kind of takes
Well,
away
that's
from
also
Luke, though.
It's like Jedi can control the weather, and dead Jedi can control the weather.
Yeah, so he's like this. I think that's one of two things that is introduced that complicates later conflict. Like, oh, yeah, you mean that they can control the weather and do stuff like that and manipulate the world around them that much? Dude, yeah, send them to the bad guys and take care of them.
Well, I think this though is like, first off, we've made it clear that Yoda is like the
Grandmaster kind of.
yeah, and also like he's in the spirit world now. He's dead. He's not a living Jedi. So maybe he has that elemental connection to
Yeah. But it still kind of opens the door of like, well,
why couldn't Luke do that?
Yeah, I mean,
could Yoda do that when he was not dead?
I know it kind of sounds like a nitpick, but it's like when you do introduce those things, sometimes they can kind of somewhat shoot you in the foot in terms of like a practical solution.
Because it's like
to a problem.
It's like, okay, so we've done this now to get us out of this situation, but now we've introduced it as
same thing. The second one I was
possibility.
going to mention is, of course, the light speed like
Collision crash thing.
Because then, I mean, yeah, it's cool. It does what it does in the moment. And then it does feel like a nitpick a little bit. But then again, you introduce that. It's kind of like, well, why don't they just do that from now on? Like,
Yeah.
just get like an astromech droid you don't really care about too much. You don't have like a sentimental thing towards like R2-D2.
Pilot of ship is
Yeah, just send some X-Wings in the,
just straight up suicide bombing. Just,
I mean, that's what
eh.
Holdo did.
will do.
Yeah, I mean,
I like how the man
what other euphemism would you? I mean, you wouldn't really need one. I mean, that's basically what she did. I mean, it was a sacrificial thing, but
I like how he's a puppet, not CGI.
that's that's actually a pretty good line. I mean, it's Yoda, and it's very fitting. Like the greatest teacher failure is. It definitely feels like a Yoda line.
Oh yeah,
And it might be one of the lines of all the movies that feel the most kind of like what something Yoda would say. I mean, of course, not more than like do or do not. There's no try and all that stuff. But side note, I remember I had a poster of Yoda in my room as a kid. It was like Revenge of the Sith Yoda, and it said like do or do not. There is no try.
he doesn't say that in Return.
I know, but
Revenge of the Sith.
I don't know, but that's what the poster it said. That I think anyway.
Oh, I forgot about this. Oh, it's like we were finally. It's like that was like a decent scene. It's like, okay, I can understand this. Then we go back to this like,
Light speed.
my favorite action figures.
All three of them.
Yeah. No, I have a Finn action figure.
I remember seeing pictures of like Toys R Us or just like other places like Walmart or whatever.
Yeah.
And the Rose ones were just they were chilling. They were just hanging on that
Stacks and stacks.
I think that's how those Eternal figures are.
They
the,
are
the
yeah.
Disney, the Marvel.
Yeah, because they're boring looking figures for a movie people don't care
And for
about.
some reason, man, it was almost like they went all out on making those. That's what it feels like.
Here we go.
We're about to make some toy money. And yet they're all on like clearance now, and there's just a ton of them.
Yeah, it's like, and it sucks too because it clogs up the pegs. Because then they don't get shipments of the new stuff in. Because it's like, well, we haven't gone through our Eternals yet.
And then they put it on clearance, but this one kind of seems another kind of handed to you piece of commentary in a way. Not just what it's saying, but it's like, let's see who this was. Well, looks like he sold to both here. You know, like I don't know, like he just happens to have like right there on his like coffee table, like who he's selling to on the projection thing. I don't know, dude. I mean, at least the that ship right there. What is it called?
I have no idea.
Is it the Executioner or something?
I think it is. Yeah,
it looks like a giant V. I don't know if it actually does, but it's
Snoke ship.
Maybe it is the Executioner. I don't know, but it does look different, and it looks kind of scary. You know, it's like
intimidating.
Yeah. This is. Yeah. She call him Flyboy.
Yeah.
And you've told us nothing.
Well, I've told all of them. I just haven't told you.
I still want to understand, like, what is the best argument in defense of Holdo not killing him? Stuff like that's what I'm trying to figure out. I was like, I'm open to like it making sense.
She says that the last thing Leia did was demote him, and so she's like, I'm gonna adhere to what General Leia's final order was.
And that then
means it's like I can't tell you anything
because you're subordinate.
I didn't say.
Rank.
And then he throws a fit here, and he tries to do this whole like, let's rebel against this, and it doesn't go.
Lock him up. Was it mutiny?
Yeah.
But I guess in a sense, the resistance is kind of doing some mutiny as well. Just that's kind of what they're all.
So why can't it? And also, like, she's not doing anything bad or really that. She's just because she's trying to get everyone off the ship because her plan is to fling it through the other ship, and it's like, Okay, why not just be like,
Wait, that's her. You think that's her plan is to get everyone off the ship and then have
that's
her
what she
stick?
said. She says she's loading the crew into.
Oh no, but I didn't. The way you described it there, it made it seem like her plan from the beginning was like, "Yep, I'm gonna be the sacrifice
Oh no, I
to get us out of
think it's
this."
mainly like we're working things out. It's like, well, this seems like the only feasible thing, and like
Okay.
I'm really putting I'm putting the resistance above that, and as the commander, I'm gonna sacrifice myself. So is that in the bat?
How did they know? I guess the Leia thing. I don't know. That was really quick.
So she has like the controls, even though she's like basically in like a casket. She's just can't see anything because she's looking straight up through that glass peephole. And also, it's not like
What is that thing? Don't let it get inside. Shoot it. Shoot it. Yeah, you're just watching it come in, like no radar.
yo a pod.
Yeah, it probably doesn't have any life forms on it. Or no, they would read it as life forms. He's just there to meet her. He's like, hey, what's up?
Where he's like, "Hey guys, I got a friend coming over. So if you see something coming in, that's her."
Just pulling up. Something else I was going to say and I forgot.
Oh, what is
That
that?
is that is just hacking. Like, and what are those chips?
I don't know.
It's just,
I got these special keys.
and they
Just flick the screen and it fixes. Okay. we're
huh,
good.
seems to be a problem there.
Yeah, again, it's not like I feel like they should be able to track this stuff. Like
Wait, who just did that? What was that?
the Finn and Rose
Oh,
and
yeah.
DJ just came on the ship now too.
Yeah. I kind of want to hear her explanation when she does reveal her problem after the moment of this right here, the mutiny or whatever. Kind of hear what she explains it as. in
Poe
her
looks
words.
Poe looks like a idiot after this. Also,
I mean, they kind of both end up looking like idiots. Because Poe's like, I'm just trying to get things done and do.
It's an iron.
I didn't enjoy that. I was kind of.
That's so stupid. Oh my!
I mean,
God.
of course, something like that has to probably exist given the, how many
But
uniforms there are. But
do we have to show it?
Also, like, wouldn't they be like, what is that trash can? I know
Why
what
is
that
that-
is. That's in my office. I have one just like that in my office.
Yeah, it's
I
like
know it's
we,
just upside
we know
down.
that's not a drawer. We know that's a shipping crate.
No, it's a trash can.
Oh,
Did you not see him dump
No,
out
you're-
the trash?
yeah. It's like, what is that trash can? Oh my gosh, stupid. Yeah, and the only one that knows is a droid. Is like, wait a minute, what?
Another moment of kind of the classic Star Wars, like, dressing up as the enemy to get inside. And,
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
if this were original, I'd be like, you're not white British men. You're not.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Also, I like how they've made the enemy much more diverse.
No.
Yeah, there's a
This
lot more,
movie, that for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot more women and people of color.
Yeah.
The only thing I always hate is like there's all these alien creatures like in the Resistance. Everyone in the First Order is a human, and in the Empire they're all humans.
Well,
You don't think there would be like
you
you don't think there would be like Rhodians and other people who are like, yeah, I want to join that cause, or they would like get taken over and be like, well, we're gonna kill you unless you join us, and then
I think at least when it comes to the Empire, there was like a human bias. Like Palpatine was like, yeah, humans only. You know what I mean? Like he had that sort of prejudice, so to speak.
yeah. But like in this situation though, this feels like maybe we should have some alien representation in the First Order.
Why not? And let's get some aliens that we've seen before, not these just like they're made for this movie to where it be like whether it's funny or get some the 17 kids in the audience to laugh or less something that was just thrown together in A New Hope because the lore hadn't been established.
How convenient.
Like these movies, you don't really see like Twi'leks or Rhodians a lot, or like a lot of what you're used to seeing. A lot of it's just, what species is that? I mean, it's just
especially like in
Wolfman
in
and
Canto Bite, like big, big multi-breasted jellyfish woman.
yeah, like Maz Kanata's place was a lot like that too, where it was
We're
just
just
kind
like
of
big tusked guy that we're never gonna see anyone like that again.
yeah. Like I said, I get it if it, like in A New Hope because the lore hadn't been established. Like now you've got since 1977. I mean, at this point, like 40 years of
Like
like
also,
different kinds
how
of
is C three
stuff.
PO's arm gold now?
I think it's another.
Like
I don't
in
remember
the
how.
comic, he loses it, and then there's like another droid there with it, and that droid
Gave it.
sacrifices
Oh,
his life, and C-3PO like that droid gave up his
arm
life
for him.
yeah, and so then
Yeah.
and since C-3PO lost the arm, he took that arm, and so now it's like all that sentiment gone, even though it is canon.
Hmm. Um,
Also, this I feel like C-3PO is only here to be like, eh,
a little bit. I mean, yeah, I feel like
serves
that's
zero purpose.
the only movie he's not is the last one because he does technically play a much bigger role.
Yes,
The first two, he's just kind of like, oh hey, I'm here, and which isn't necessarily true in the originals. Like C-3PO always kind of had like a like especially the first movie, he had a definite role.
Empire for sure.
Empire, he could talk or read the what was it, the engine or the computer of the Falcon?
Yeah.
And then Return of the Jedi, I don't. He helped. Well, he did help communicate or be like the translator.
They helped because they were given the job of basically to infiltrate into Jabba's palace.
Yeah.
And
but-
then
So yeah,
what a wasted character, Phasma. It's like
I
it's like you guys thought Boba Fett was cool. Here we're gonna have the tall and the shiny armor, and they're gonna basically not do anything.
well, that's what again surprises me with some
What
of
is this like head bandage? Just like, oh, shut up.
what? What did you say?
I don't know. It's just a little silly looking.
Well, no, that's my thing. Is like again, given how like you had all the criticisms of the previous movies, like just at your disposal, just ready for you, and knowing how Star Wars fans are, I'm surprised. Yeah, they did stuff like the Leia thing, like the whole Luke thing, but like even the Phasma thing, like knowing how much Boba Fett was an underutilized character, and people have said that, even though he's really, really liked, it amazes me that they went, you know what, let's just pretty much do the same thing, but in almost less time, like less screen time. It feels like less. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's just like you literally made the same mistake, the same kind of character. Like it just blows my mind that they had all of that and went, yeah.
It's like Command C, Command
Copy,
V.
paste. All right, done.
And it's like all this like,
and not even that.
it's
Like,
all this like you've been a great friend. It's like, well, we've only had 15 minutes of screen time with you, so this sad thing seems like nothing.
I don't know if I got her explanation. Actually, I missed it. I was trying to look for it, and then.
Oh, you didn't miss it. There is none.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought Holdo was like, Sipo, here's what happened.
No, they don't do that.
Oh. Right here, I think is the best part of the movie, despite the fact that it does like leave.
Oh, well, so that was nothing also.
Yeah, it does leave some strange questions, as in now Kylo Ren is the main baddie. You know what I mean? Like after this, like the bad guy, like he would be that in turn. He would kind of just assume the supreme leader role. Sorry, that chair is so uncomfortable.
It's fine. Now, one thing is like, I don't like it's how it's like Kylo's already kind of right now making that turn towards lighter.
It feels like a third act,
and then it's like,
kind of thing.
And then the next one is just like, oh no, back to dark. Just like it's like we're making this progress, and then boom, right, go back.
Mm-hmm. He's trying to let the past go, and kind of does in a lot of
he's.
ways,
I
and
mean,
then
it kind of makes sense though, because like he's conflicted,
yeah, he's capricious.
and
I
then
guess.
it's like, I'm trying to change, and he just falls back into his ways.
Yeah. I mean, it it makes sense, but it doesn't. It seems like okay, yeah, he's supposed to be kind of like this young, like all over the place kind of person, but it then having that as like the main villain is kind of hard to as an audience member to then go, yeah, he's a threat. He's the main threat because Darth Vader is this like this stern whatever. Like he's a bad guy and he probably does have a pull to light, but he just puts on a cool front, I guess. I don't know. She's being possessed.
By her grandfather.
Yeah, wouldn't he know
About all this?
Snoke in the moment? Or do you think like the disconnect between or is his soul in Snoke, so to speak?
I
Or
thought
is
it
it
kind of was.
or is he just kind of like commanding
I think
like he's
it's
got
more
some
like,
control? Is it got some control room like
yeah, yeah. I
like
think
he's just like a puppet?
I think it is like he's mentally puppeteering
Like
and
possessed
puppeting.
the
Yeah,
body of this clone of that it's Snoke.
it's like imagine, like imagine like a puppet.
Yeah.
Like
But
yeah,
what I'm saying is like
he's fully aware of because all the thoughts, the actions.
here it is. They're not monitoring for little transports. He's like, wow, I mean, I get the First Order not knowing that, but why couldn't we have known that?
That could work.
She was more interested in protecting the light.
Than seeming like a hero, even though she's about to go and straight up act like a hero.
That just it's like what do you that it seems like it seems like a non sequitur like a
It's like I
we're
want.
talking about communication here, not protecting the light and being a hero. We're talking about just I don't know. It's kind of like okay, but what about the
It's
whole?
like I want to be so secretive about my sacrifice because I don't want to come across as a hero, but then I'm going to come across as the ultimate hero because I didn't even make a big deal about it when it happened.
Well, I don't. I mean, if she from the get go was like, "I'm gonna make the sacrifice," it would be weird. But I don't. I think she was just. Wait, at this point, she agreed to stay behind, right?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe it is a thing. Like she's like, yeah, I'm staying behind from the beginning. Hmm. And why'd they give him an out? Oh wait, never mind. They're already in the outfits.
Yeah,
I thought they're like, yeah, man, you're one of us. Here's an outfit. But they stole them. I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, because he's not loyal to anything. He's
Anything.
really just in it for profit. So that does make sense.
And that's what makes this movie feel like freaking Empire, because it's like, oh, there's the whole
The
kind of
Lando thing, yeah.
and then
Except this guy stays bad. We can't introduce him as having this like redeeming, likable, actually being a good guy like Lando. Because it's just like, I had no choice. I cut a deal and I'm in it for myself. I'll never see you guys again. Bye.
And at least with Lando, like, even though you know he did a slimy thing, like you kind of feel bad for him. Like when Chewie's choking the heck out of him, like you're kind of like, "Hey, Chewie, come on."
Well, he also then redeems himself and he does help him out. Like then he's like, "Oh, crap, I shouldn't have done that."
Yeah.
And then he helps him. Then he helps him get out. And then he doesn't just help them get out. He goes and joins the cause.
Exactly. So that's kind of another testament to this movie or these movies kind of having somewhat cheap.
It's like let's introduce this character
skeletons of what was before.
Let's introduce these characters to do this.
It's a kind of familiar action or role than that you had before.
Like let's introduce them in just to perform this thing that we need, and then we'll just never see them again.
It's almost like, well, if it's like Empire, because we're going that route, we do need a point where there's a character that does make a slimy deal. So let's just throw him in there for that. I don't know. This is a little bit like,
and then you don't like any of the characters because it's like,
it just feels kind of cheap.
Yeah,
I think what you said in the last one, these movies feel soulless. It's just unfortunately that's kind of That's just kind of how it is. It just feels kind of soulless. This is definitely Return of the Jedi kind of feel.
That 100%.
I want to say that this is probably the best of these movies, like this whole moment right here, because for so long in the lore of Star Wars, we've had this kind of the Padawan killing the master. Like that's always been the progression of the Sith. Like at some point that has to be done,
Mm-hmm.
and it is kind of cool to sort of see that on screen, like that actually going on. You know what I mean?
I wish
And then
then.
seeing
I
the
just
team
wish
up.
then what they would have done is
Well, that's
just
actually
take. It's like, okay, Kylo has killed Snoke. Make Snoke actually have
dead.
that weight and be dead and be his own entity that is like the new Sith. And Kylo's completely taken this spot and is just 100% the antagonist.
Well, see, that's what I was saying a second ago, though, is because his character is so like
His whole character is being
conflicted
conflicted.
and kind of soft in some regards, but also very, you know, he's hard in others or stern in others. It's hard to believe it's like, okay, yeah, he's the scary bad guy. You know what I mean?
It's like right here,
Oh, I think that's one reason why JJ probably went the route of putting another.
kill his true enemy. Because he senses it. He senses. It's like I said.
Well, hold on. If Palpatine is in spirit inside Snoke here, would that just release his soul?
I think it's just. I don't think it. I don't think his soul. I don't think you're thinking. You're thinking.
Spirit or like
You're thinking of this too. I think you're looking at this as too
much.
spiritually. Like it needs. It's more.
Well, that's what the impression I got was like. He wasn't. It wasn't just like a robot that Snoke was, or
Well, no, but I
it
think
was like
it's
the vessel that maintained Palpatine's existence, or I don't know, or at least at some point it was, or sometimes it was. But I guess overall, though, he does have a Palpatine body and a series of clones, one of which was Rey's father. So
I think it's literally just his.
I don't know.
I think it's literally just his mind controlling this essentially corpse.
Yeah.
I think of it as that.
Yeah,
not,
I think that. Yeah, you're right. I think
not
that's
just
what it is
not
too.
like he is Palpatine. Like I think it's literally just using the Force to puppeteer this corpse.
This was the most exciting moment in the theater.
Oh yeah, it's cool. Even though there's a video on YouTube of like
the mistakes.
yes,
There's definitely some
but like the actual
choreography.
Yeah, and some of the
missed cues and missed
how it's
hits.
not. And like there are shots where it's like that when it based on the last shot, the lightsaber would be here and that should be doing. That's gruesome.
I mean, it does. It's like putting some plastic in a blender.
I do like that though, like the fire on the
Mhm.
thing, and now the whole screen is just like
Yeah, because it's just mayhem around them, and they're
Yeah.
just fighting.
even though
In the
it's-
moment, it doesn't
even though it's-
necessarily feel like, oh, there's mistakes. You know,
Yeah,
like,
even
it
though
feels
even though it is flawed, it is cool, and
Mhm.
also it's getting to see them
it's probably
fighting.
the
And
most
then
interesting
also
fight.
these guys aren't just like the other royal guards or the knights are like, oh, they look cool in the background there. They're actually kind of showing off like, yeah, these guys are
Formidable opponents. Or
yeah.
they kind of take a moment to.
Well, formidable for Kylo,
Yeah,
not
of
Rey,
course.
even though she can. It's this part right here that has like there's some issue there.
Yeah, it doesn't really. It's like
It like doesn't line up right. Yeah, it's like of course
he's holding. I thought he was like holding on to her, and then
Of course, he's the one who needs help. The
and
one who's
he's
been,
the one sweating.
Yeah. She just got a little cut on her arm, and
No, I mean she struggled, but I think he had the worst time, and she ended up,
well, to be fair,
he's like, Dad.
To be fair, he was fighting like three or
Yeah.
four at once, and she had one. So,
like I said, I feel like I'd been much more fine with this, and this would have worked and been a lot more powerful if this was the third act, if this was the third movie. Like the let old things die. And it's just
Yeah.
he's let go of the whole Vader
That was the
fanboy
biggest
thing.
that was the biggest issue with this is like this feels like a conclusion.
Yeah, it felt like you accidentally skipped to third gear, and it's like, oh wait, hang on a second,
And
and
so
then like
then
you
so
sort of
then we've got all these characters doing these things that like in a third act like after we've earned their like understanding them and know them and have come to
some
you
kind of
know
like logical conclusion of where they would have ended up to a certain degree.
yeah
Like
so
I
then
think it's not a surprise. It's like, oh wait, you're
it's
saying
like watching Avengers Endgame without having watched Infinity War or Age of Ultron. Like you don't have any of the a lot of the character development is missing. A lot of things like little things that don't quite make sense because you don't have information from previous things. All that it's literally like they've skipped something. It's like something is missing.
I thought
Something is
this
missing.
part was pretty well acted by Adam Driver, where she doesn't. Also, this would be kind of awkward. What if she did take his hand? What do they do now? Hold hands and walk out the room? Like, it just kind of like join me. I get that, but like the whole reaching your hand out. Well, she grabbed it and just
It
what
would have
next?
been. I think it would have been like a grab, little shake. Yes, let go.
Dap
Let's
up, like,
go.
Mm,
My
my hand.
my hand.
Okay, no, but I don't think he said it yet. But he's like, "Well, you're still holding on." Like I thought that was like Adams. He's definitely bringing
There's
emotion.
still a lot of this movie left, isn't there?
About 40 minutes.
Damn.
30, 40 minutes.
This movie's too long.
Yeah.
this
They could have, I feel like, yeah, it's a lot of fat.
movie's too long.
They could have trimmed a lot of stuff. I think it feels much longer, too, because of how the pacing of a lot of stuff is. So,
It feels like a
Like-
bunch. It feels like a bunch of scenes.
for example, I think the new Spider-Man movie is like 2.5 hours.
That movie feels like
It
10
does.
seconds.
It doesn't feel like 2.5 hours. I think this movie, because how it's set up, like, yeah, it feels like 2.5 hours.
And this
Honestly,
it's
it feels more like 3.
yeah, this movie feels closer to 3 hours. And then this whole thing with ripping the lightsaber and
I don't necessarily mind. I think it's kind of it is kind of like, no, that's the thing, but
that's the MacGuffin of this is also this is another this is a problem with a lot of movies. Like, why are we doing this? Hold, wait,
in all 3
wait. Yeah,
well, it's all build up. It's the tension there, and then the tension of the lightsaber, and then the okay. Yeah.
just edging, just
Edge. All right. Yeah. And they know she's going to do it. Whoa.
and also it's like you're telling me she is as strong a force user as he is.
Again, keep in mind that this is very shortly after Force Awakens. It's not like she's had. Okay, it could be the Dagobah thing too.
She quote unquote trained with Luke for
And really, he just kind of talked to her.
like that was like a couple hours. Kylo was there weeks.
She, in a sense, trained herself and just listened to
Also,
a few
how
things that he said.
how do all those other ones? Is it literally just the debris going at the speed of light through the other stuff? Like I can understand splitting that main one.
And yeah,
It's like fracturing that one. Then they all just like
it's like I don't know. And it does make you think, like, oh, okay, yeah, they're alive.
even though it looks like the ship went right through.
Where'd everyone
there.
else go? Like everyone else is dead. But like all the good,
and they're gone.
the 2 good guys, they made it, and there's a ship for them. But wait, is Finn wearing the?
He's still
No,
wearing.
never mind. I thought for some reason the necklace he had it, but no.
And this
There's
is,
an
this
alternate-
is this is stupid right here too.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan. There's an alternate fight scene between Finn and Phasma, right? Where it's a little bit more
Yeah.
long and it's a little bit more like, hey, touching on our past.
Also, like how that cockpit is too small, technically, based on BB-8's size and all. It's very convenient. The BB-8's like, I'm gonna go hide in this ATST.
So we'll hide it.
I'm gonna go hide.
I'm gonna go get up in this ATST. That's cool. He's like, yeah, I've progressed now. Again, it's been a few days, but yeah,
Even though that was
we've had this conflict.
Even though that was 2 days ago.
Chrome Gnome. Wait, weren't you just in the trash compactor the other day? How'd you get out of that?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, how did... I don't know. Oh, no. No! It's a little like, tew, tew.
Ran out of bullets.
Like smug. Yeah. Another, yeah, premature death, I think. I think she should have took her helmet off. Like, I'm sorry.
You're a woman?
I mean, they could have had that because you don't technically you wouldn't have known. I mean, I guess from the voice, but yeah, I don't know. Very much a
Waste.
yeah. It's very, like I said, I'm just very surprisingly went the exact same
This
route.
whole movie can be described as a waste.
Well, I mean, the trilogy in a sense. My take on the whole trilogy is that it feels very much like a waste. Like it's like, oh man. And again, as I said last time, like it's not like I just want to hate these movies. It's just, what a party that was!
How is that falling now?
Maybe Hux is a heavy
Just
stepper. How did Ray?
And also, let's keep in mind, Hux is a spy.
Well, I mean, he could have had a change of heart later on, but yeah, it's like he's incredibly loyal at this point. Like up to this moment, he's insanely loyal to the cause, almost more so than
Kylo.
Ben is. Yeah. But I guess you can you can always have some change of heart later on, something that's.
But from going from full force to just I'm the spy.
Yeah. Well, okay, it could have been. This is the point where the dynamic changes because now it's like this power piece
Vacuum.
missing, and so it's like, okay, could Hux be wanting to be the supreme leader? And it's like, yeah, it kind of seems like it. Now he's a little bit jealous. He's skeptical of Kylo, and maybe his resentment towards Kylo is why he betrays ultimately the First Order. So it's like he does have some kind of reason. He's not just like, well, they're kind of doing some things I don't agree with. So it's
How are
like
we?
It's a personal issue.
I like how also we don't show. Did we know that this place was available?
When did we get here? Oh, I guess they just landed.
It was literally they showed them on the ship looking out the window at what Holdo just done, and then the next time we see them is right here.
Oh. Again, it's kind of like Hoth, just enough. Look how Leia's shooting, and I believe I don't know if they've shown them yet, but all three of Mark Hamill's kids were in some part of this. I don't know exactly where it was. Maybe it's when Luke pops up. There's a moment where all three of Mark Hamill's kids are shown on screen. Do you know that?
I did not.
We might have missed it, but it might.
I just tugged on this. Am I still?
Yeah, you're good.
Just make sure.
Yeah. But if I see it, I'll definitely point it out.
Yeah.
I think so. Anyway, I don't think
broadcast this. Use my personal code.
What is it? Size 123. It's 2187. After Resistance Hero Finn. Wait, no, 2187. That was her cell number, right? In the Death Star.
Yes, that is what. Yeah.
Convenient. Also, Finn's stormtrooper number. Isn't that supposed to be Death Star technology, the laser? If I'm not mistaken.
What laser?
The laser right there that they're about to
What are
shoot.
these like crystal foxes? Like why?
It's like they're made out of.
Glass.
It's like having a creature made out of sand or something. Like it's just some like
There's
dirt.
no need for that. There's no need.
Is he wearing his jacket again? Oh wait, no, that it's his own jacket, but it looks a lot like Poe's current one.
Well, he's still wearing the Imperial jacket.
Yeah.
He just unbuttoned it now.
So it looks cooler. Yeah.
More stylish. Ugh.
In the trenches. It's like a
Hoth.
yeah.
This is cool that how like isn't that's salt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They even make sure to tell you that, like, no, guys, it's not snow.
It's not snow.
The guy picks up and goes, salt.
We couldn't.
It looks very original trilogy like.
Oh, right here.
Oh, that's what it is.
Why? You don't need to tell us everything.
Yeah.
We get it. Obviously.
But I think it is this one, and I think a lot of people would probably think it's
also this. There's no
snow.
There's no reason. Is that like used to be a B-wing?
There's, I think, whatever they are, they're from the rebellion.
Also, like these things that drag, like that's only so it looks cool, like shooting up. Like, why is it on the lens?
You would think
That's
yeah,
only
like,
that's
it's
only
a terrible
to get,
design.
That's only to get this shot.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, like, what would be the feature? I kind of laughed at that. I was like, yeah, what the hell?
It makes a little sense. It's a joke that's warranted.
Yeah, but like, yeah. Aside from this moment,
Also, it's not just to like, it's like
it's to stabilize
you guys
it.
still have a floor. You guys still have a floor. It's not. It's
Yeah.
just like a oh damn.
Yeah,
And then it's
her little talisman. No, but yet you'd think it must be like it would just immediately break off, just having like a stick or like a pole sticking out the bottom of your ship that drags.
you guys really think you're gonna take those little things and this is gonna.
It seems very unrealistic. Of like just they would
Futile.
just shoot them. They would just shoot them right away, wouldn't they not?
Yeah, just. I mean, that's easy.
Open fire.
That's
That many people are they're gonna miss?
that's like 6 shots.
I mean, look at them. They're all in a line. Just open up.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh well, I got one. Well, I guess they are. They're not like.
And also, I mean, they are kicking this red Georgia clay up.
Yeah. That's cool. Wait, do you pilot the thing in the middle or is it on the side?
It's on the side.
Oh, okay.
It's like on the far. You're on the far left side.
I feel like I kept seeing
That's all
people in
engine.
the middle.
That's all engine in the middle. There's one. I think there's one person per.
Again, sometimes Star Wars ships have that, and it's like, what, doesn't that make turning harder?
It's
like,
like,
I don't-
why is this all
On
the
the
way
far
over
end, I
here?
don't want to knock that off when I turn right over here, but shut up, Finn.
Yeah!
What do you think of the pork growling like that?
It's not. It's not. It's not bad or good.
Ooh,
It's
I like this. I don't know, something about that line, the way it sounded, the way she said it.
Great, Ray, don't get cocky.
It sounded like Channing Tatum in 22 Jump Street. He was like, "My name is Jeff.
Like this.
I like this." Like, I don't know. Yeah, she's doing a pretty good job. I mean,
I didn't know she had training in because this is her first time manning the gun in the Falcon. She can fly it perfectly. We've already established that. So she's also an excellent gunner.
yeah.
Who would have thought? That's stupid. That no need for that.
Wasn't it in A New Hope, Luke? He only ended up shooting like 2 TIE fighters. Like they had, I think, like initially when they left, right? Like 3 TIE fighters on their tail, and they got in the gunner or whatever, and it took him a while to get like 2 or 3. I don't know.
Is this on the Death Star run or when they're leaving the Death Star?
I think it's when they're leaving the Death Star. I don't know.
Why did they? I guess to pull them away from the speeders. I guess that's why they go. Now, how did that get there, and how long have they been pulling that thing?
I
And
guess
also,
look at the trail of the red.
if it got
How long?
if this all got dumped off by a ship, why didn't they just dump them way closer? So it's like, let's have this gigantic space between us.
Yeah, I think this is supposed to be Star Killer technology or something, or Death Star technology. Like it's not as powerful. It won't blow up a planet, but like it'll.
You can take down a door.
Yeah, for sure. I like the old headphones. Oh my gosh. I like the those old headphones that guy had. That was pretty cool. They're picking off all the unimportant characters.
Picking up all the unnamed.
We're not gonna make
I was
it.
about to say something about that.
Well, good thing we're all alive, right, Finn?
Finn, Rose.
And Rose, you're still here? Okay. All right.
We lost Rebel Trooper number 3 and
Yeah.
Alien Trooper number 3.
What do you think about this part right here? His decision to be like Holdo in a way.
I think it's kind of fitting for Finn. I could see him doing this. It's this right here. You know, Finn has very much been like, I want to be.
Actually do something.
Yeah. And Finn would be like, I've caused enough damage being in the First Order already. I'm gonna do something about it, even if that means like he really does believe. I think he really does believe in this.
I guess it does. It does. Gosh, I'm stuttering. It does make sense. I guess it's a little bit more powerful than just like having another one do it, like Rose, because he has like a thing against the First Order.
Yeah,
he was there. He was a part of it. But it does kind of think like, what do you imagine you'd accomplish here? Like would you blow it up? And wouldn't that hurt him? And
wouldn't that kill?
She
maybe
just went through it like the laser.
It's like you don't understand that she's clear. That probably could have wiped someone out. Just it's like in The Incredibles, like when he saves the guy jumping off the building at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I think you broke something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think either one of them would be in a position where it's just like.
And of course, he's able just to.
Looks like he should be in the Pirates of the Caribbean right now.
He does look a little like a swashbuckler.
Yeah.
I saved you, dummy. Oh,
Now's not the time to be cute, Rose.
that's how we're gonna win.
He's like, I know you can't feel it because you're in shock, but you've got a metal piece of this ship stuck in your side. Don't look at it. As a very awkward kiss. He's like, ugh, why did you do that? I like Rey.
That's also like, we're not gonna. That's how we're gonna win this, by saving what we love, not killing. By not killing what we hate.
But how do you say what you love? Killing what you hate.
It's like, well,
in some
they're not
instances.
they're gonna keep killing what they hate, which is us. So,
it's like, yeah. Also, wasn't it at the beginning of the movie they kind of were true to Finn's motives? I think he was trying to get to Rey, right?
Yes.
But then so far since then, he's just been nothing about Rey. Because again, from The Force Awakens, it seems like he's at the very least invested in Rey as a friend and like cares about her. And not right now. He's just kind of.
Well, I think now he's found out, and I think he's gotten caught up in all this because like all this, it's like he's been trying to get to her, and all this, and then he gets sort of like, okay, I got to do this because now this is important. Not that he still likes Rey.
Yeah. I guess that's fair, but it doesn't really seem like Rey's on his mind, and it Force Awakens gave the impression that he would. Yeah. Dyed my hair a little and shaved the beard, and
again.
Okay, yeah. Given if he actually was here, that means he did like cut his hair and trim his beard just to go, And he
got look good for seeing everyone again.
I guess did he like choose that to project himself?
Yes.
So make it
to make himself look a little better.
Let me make my hair a little shorter, my beard a little trimmed up.
I'm just glad you're here.
But
He's not there.
yeah,
It's like,
but it does kind of seem like a plea of a fan. Like, well, at least we get to see him. He's not doing anything we want him to, but I don't know. Actually,
people who aren't.
yeah, I
force
guess he's talking
sensitive.
about Palpatine. That's what he's doing. He's letting her know.
Get ready for some disappointment.
The dice.
Dice that it hasn't had any significance until this movie.
That was a weird
The
decision.
dice.
That was a weird decision.
I,
It's kind of like the beginning of the movie with Rose's sister or whatever it was. It was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this is that piece that we're going to later explain its significance. But if this was built up to that moment, like all you had that development of the relationship, the meaning of the medallion thing. That's this kid's right there.
oh, okay.
It would have worked a lot better, her sacrifice and her like holding on to the medallion thing or whatever it is. But the fact that it's just like we're just supposed to presuppose that it does because she is giving it meaning by holding it. Wow, 2020 vision Kylo has. He could see his uncle all the way back there. Like, stop. Well, I guess he could feel him, in the Force. Because Luke now, but then again, he's not there, so how could he feel him in the Force? I guess he's just like this
He can sense his force
presence because that is
Yeah.
literally a Force presence. Okay, yeah,
So he would actually probably have like a heightened sense for this.
maybe, yeah. That's no man.
It's a force ghost.
Do it. Had his own little version of it. I saw something where it was like at this point, knowing how they can be taken down, walkers. Why would the First Order utilize walkers? Like knowing how unstable they are, or
All you need is a tow cable.
shaky and slow. Like you would almost think, like, yeah, we're just gonna use wheels, man. I don't even know what.
It's just more.
Yeah. I didn't really like this part. I thought for sure he'd be like on the ground with like some force shield above him or something that he was making, or yeah, like some kind of
He's
almost like a wizard or magician, like in Harry Potter or something, or I don't know, like he's got something protecting him, but really,
You think you got him?
I definitely wasn't a big fan of the shoulder shrug, like the wiping the dirt off the shoulder. I was like, yeah, I was like, nah, it just doesn't.
Whoa! How did you do that?
Yeah. Missed me. Yeah, just
Like
taunting his
screw
neck.
you.
You're trying to get him back in the light side, not taunt him and piss him off.
That's so way to.
Wow. That was a lot of blaster fire. That
Wait, so he's been pulling her back during all this?
Yeah, what the heck? It's like, oh gosh, wow, that was close.
Good thing I managed to avoid all that.
All those were close, actually. Yeah. I don't know, man. It didn't really seem like that would make any sense, but it's Kylo Ren.
We should help him.
I know how to use a lightsaber. Didn't you see last movie? I mean, a few days ago?
I did it 2 days ago.
Well, that scar thing's healing pretty good that Rey gave him. Well, I guess I didn't really see that.
Oh, you're right. It has only been that. Oh, yeah, that should be.
Would a scar really? Well, I guess it isn't.
Maybe it's
clear
also
how much time has passed at this point, but it still feels like days. I don't know. But that scar looks like one that's been healed.
And like here's the kicker: is like how would he have that lightsaber?
Because it has been destroyed. Yeah. Which kind of gave it away in a sense.
Well, it really should have been. It should have been the green one.
Yeah, that
should have been
cooler.
the Return of the Jedi one.
Yeah,
but
that would have been cooler. But I guess that is the Skywalker blade. You know,
Mm-hmm.
do you think? Well, no, I guess it would have been lost. I was about to say, do you think Ben ever used it? Like it was ever his? Like Luke was like, "I want you to have this," but Maz Kanata, I guess, found it somewhere,
Yeah, it was.
or somehow someone else found it and gave it to her. She bought it or something like that. Hey, he's telling C-3PO to shut up. Kind of like Han Solo, or Owen Lars. Shut up. You know.
Well, I really use a droid who understands the binary language of moisture evaporators.
And then C-3PO goes on this spiel, and he's like, "All right, shut up. They're trying to tell them something. This way, follow us."
I speak Ice Fox.
I mean, what,
So I
did she
guess
like promote him, or is she
yes.
okay? I say like,
That's literally like he has authority again.
but like,
Where have they been?
was that her way of promoting him saying that, or did she do that previously and was
I
like,
think that was her way of.
they're just like making sure that I don't
It's like,
know.
are we good to go with him? Oh, we are? Okay.
Are you
And
sure?
they're just using the back door. Like, it's not like it shouldn't be this. They're like, how big is this cave?
Yeah, it doesn't seem.
Because like they're immediately about to be out.
A lot of cute animals in this movie. Like at least they were trying to present us with a lot of cute animals. Porgs, the fathier things, and then whatever these are called. Crystals.
Crystal foxes.
Crystal dogs, foxes.
It's like
It looks like a fox, yeah.
salt fox, ice fox, creatures barking. It's, for those of you with closed captioning on, that's what I just said.
It is funny how like they say the Force is more, being a Jedi is more than lifting rocks, and then she lifts rocks, and so. What was that? He's like, yeah. I might step away for a second because I need to use the bathroom. I would be quick. Think you can handle?
I think I can.
All right, I'm sorry. I've had 2 water bottles. I'll be right back.
Just talking about my disappointment with this movie. Yeah, I know it's not a awful fight scene. It's really slow, but then again, I mean, the Darth Vader Ben Kenobi fight is slow. There's the title. There's the title. Oh, so every word is wrong. So he's not going to kill him, and he's not the last Jedi. And how are they? Oh no, they're not listening to. I thought they were listening to him, but it's the war is just beginning, even though it's going to end in the next movie. And so yeah, it's just the tease of I will not be the last Jedi, even though it was sold as I will be the Jedi, and the Jedi need to die if they have to. And this is a very skilled maneuver. That's all. It took Luke a long time to learn to lift up a couple rocks, and now she's lift up a mountain's worth of rocks in one go.
What is it?
It took Luke a long time to learn to just stack a couple little rocks, yet she can come in and just go and wipe a mountain
Yeah.
clear. But then again, it's Rey, so.
Well, yeah, it's like there were. It's kind of like the TIE fighter thing. It was like there's just a few of them, and it was like a struggle. And
Nothing feels earned.
yeah, again, it's like every criticism so far that we've said.
Strike me down, and I will be more powerful than you could ever imagine.
It is a version of that, yeah. But like, really though, like, is it?
It's like, oh, he's gonna do it. He's gonna kill him. You guys remember The Force Awakens?
Han.
Yeah.
He's like, what? I don't. So he planned on cutting him in half.
It's just like a...
like Snoke, I guess.
Yeah.
He's like, you didn't do it. There's a camera over there, and there's the projector that's making the
You just got punked.
by a Jedi. People were freaking out when,
It's like, whoa.
yeah, clapping and yeah, because it was unexpected, and then it was kind of like, dude, that seems to be a I mean, it's power. We've never seen that kind of thing like that.
But then again, also like it has been kind of.
I definitely the death here. It does not seem justified. Like I get, it would take a lot out of you, but it just seems very much like keep him around for the next movie, man.
Like you would just go take a nap, some Gatorade, some peanuts. You should be okay.
Yeah. Take a warm bath.
Just lay down.
Have some salt bath. Where you can feel it. Run, Luke. I mean, Ray. Run.
She can feel it.
Yeah.
Yet he has the strength to pull himself back up onto this rock.
So hang on. Let me look at the sun before I die. Why? And then afterwards, he just fades away.
Just when he lays down,
that was his life's force leaving. That's stupid. It is.
Doesn't he go like it's like Ben, right? Or Yoda and
Yes.
Ben. He just.
Well, what's weird is like I think the only thing that sticks around is his cloak, but like his Jedi robes, I think disappear.
Go.
Yeah. Same thing with Ben. It's like his boots weren't there. It was just the cloak.
His belt is still there.
Like, oh, he's got some dookie stains in his whitey tighties. Like, who would be there to? That was dumb. That was a good shot in the trailer. It was very much like, what is that going to be?
Well, this looked good in a trailer.
Yeah. He looks so much different in this movie. I don't know if I think it's because his hair is slicked down.
For
or
how
something.
important these are, I'm surprised Leia left them.
Yeah. I remember these. Mom and Dad talked about them a lot. Sup?
You want to come?
Winks at him.
Guess not.
I guess that's her way of leaving him on red. He's like, dang it.
I can't believe she left those. Like it's like, oh, because they're not.
Maybe she knew. I don't know. Maybe somehow she knew that.
Also, how come if Luke is dead, he's like, I'm gonna just the little bit I have left, I'm gonna use these here to just mess around with Ben.
Well, it isn't clear. Like they could have disappeared right when he died. You know, it isn't exactly clear.
It's not exactly, yeah. That's right. They've never met until the end of the third movie. That's wild.
Or second. Oh, she has the books. Does Finn and Rey, do they even have a reunion here? I don't remember.
But now he's all conflicted because she kissed me, so maybe
she's like, get away from her. She's jealous a little bit.
Oh.
Maybe she's like, fine, I've moved on.
I like Poe now.
I like Luke, but he's dead.
And also my third cousin.
Yeah, I mean, technically.
Well, she's got a thing for distant cousins.
Ben.
Sweet home Tatooine.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is at this point she's conflicted, or her relationship or love interest, so to speak, is geared towards Ben.
So, hold on. So when all that went down with like the join me, she managed to grab the pieces of that. She grabbed the lightsaber and was like, hey, I'm leaving, but I'm taking this.
Well, yeah, it's like Ben was knocked out and very disoriented.
This should not have been in here.
How did they get that information down to exactly how it happened to replicate it? Again, there's not like the internet.
It looks like a Jim Henson character.
Everyone, I swear, everyone did that in the theater. This movie's not actually 2.5 hours. It's about to be over, and we're at 2:24. But
Well, credit, but
yeah,
and it's like get ready.
but that's what it makes it such a weird title then, because it's like The Last Jedi, but at the very end we're going to hint at there being potentially more Jedi. You know, I don't know. That's why I'm still kind of curious as to what Ryan Johnson literally meant by The Last Jedi, because Luke, obviously not, given what Rey is. Rey, well, that ending scene doesn't necessarily suggest that it's Rey. So was it the little boy? Like
The broom boy?
what is the significance of The Last Jedi? Like what actually is it? Because again, it's like
Yeah.
I mean Jedi's the plural for Jedi is Jedi.
Yeah.
So it could be that.
The last of the
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like the last dogs, the last Jedi.
the last deer.
Yeah. It could be something like that. But then
Oh well.
still I don't know.
What a mess of a movie.
It kind of is.
What a
and,
mess.
like there's things I like about it, but there's ultimately things that I
And
just
and the
hurts
worst
to
part is
rewatch.
that it ultimately went nowhere.
Yeah.
All this setup and hinting at stuff just turned into nothing.
This one was a lot of conflicting visions between JJ and Ryan. It was very much too many budding things, two different people wanting to tell different stories.
It was they should not have been like, we're gonna have 3 directors and they're all gonna write it and they're not gonna work with each other beforehand. It's like you're just gonna write a part 1, you're gonna write a part 2, you're gonna write a part 3.
That's another thing that amazes me about not only what you understand about Star Wars, having that previous lore, knowing what the fans are like, but knowing how to tell a story as a company that's been around for a very, very long time. You took the route of just doing it ad hoc in the moment, writing script each year, not knowing where you're going to end up in movie 3, even loosely, even kind of like some things that are definitely off the limits and some things are definitely going to happen. You just write one movie as you go.
That's
Like that's the plan. I said that's amazing that they went that route. Like
so ballsy, Kathleen. So ballsy. Just to, because it's like, well, people liked the original trilogy more, and those all had 3 different directors, and people didn't like the prequel trilogy, and that was all one person's singular vision. It's like, yeah, well, George Lucas still, it was still his. I don't know. This movie's a mess. This movie's a mess.
and I hate that it is.
It's also, I think,
There's still hope. There's another movie, after all. We'll see how that one is.
well, I mean, I'm not. We'll talk about that when we get to it, but there's just
yeah.
yeah.
That one I've not seen The Rise of Skywalker as many times as I've seen Last Jedi and Force Awakens, so I think seeing that will be kind of
every
interesting.
one of these I've seen
Less and less,
Yeah,
yeah.
like I've
Yeah.
seen. I definitely saw Force Awakens the most, and then Last Jedi. Like I said, this is really only my 3rd time watching Last Jedi.
Okay.
Well, then I've only really seen Rise of Skywalker twice. Yeah, this was like really my 3rd watch of this.
All right, well, that was it.
Yeah, we went further into the credits this time.
Yeah.
Peter Mayhew is the Chewbacca consultant.
He just gave advice. There's Terry Douglas again.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, that's what it said.
Nice.
Right below Peter Mayhew.
Like I said, he's good.
Anyway, thank you for watching or listening. Hope you enjoyed some of
Or
that.
they've watched.
Well, it'd be in video form on YouTube, but whatever.
Yeah,
goodbye.
We'll see you in the next one.
All right.